Tu. Good morning, friends. We are determined today to start. Start as scheduled. Very, very little bit late. 4 minutes late. Pardon us. We'll get better at it. Good morning, friends. Welcome to the Vintage Talk Show with the Fudge. You are listening, wherever anywhere you are listening to us on Earth, watching us via YouTube or any other platform. Thank you for joining us. Well, welcome, sir.
Oh, le believe
Welcome,
you
sir.
can Ebi Golo
Yeah,
Yakuma
yeah.
Kuni.
Video is okay. Your voice is
Video is fine.
okay.
Ah,
Good morning.
good morning, Paj. Maoni.
Fine, thank you. We're already starting. We're already
Oh, let's
on.
go.
So
Let's go.
just doing it.
Okay, let's go.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank
Morning,
you.
sir.
Good morning. Alexander. Sorry. Yeah.
And we are closing now all the Vintage Talk Show. And I'm your anchor. My name is Femi Akintunde-Johnson. My friends call me Fudge. I have my friends in the house. Let me start with the delectable one. Good morning, AC Fair Arogundade. Good morning. How's this morning?
My morning is fine. Morning to all those celebrating their birthdays today. Happy birthday to Mr. Lanre Arogundade. And a special happy birthday to Professor Wale Shoinka, who will be marking or celebrating and marking his 90th birthday
today.
Super. All roads lead to your house when we finish, right? I'm sure.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Wow, that's nice. That's nice. Very nice, very timely. So Arugurade and Professor Shenka are birthday mates. Oh, thank God for little mercy. Well, that's nice. That's the cipher for you. Throwing in the felicitations. Good, nice. With me also in the studio, ready and willing, is our analyst and co-anchor, Alex Ogundadegbe. Good morning, Alex.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, Lagos. It's great to be on 90.9 Top FM once again. And I dare say on this cold and cloudy morning, we're going to have a great time together.
Yes, we will go. We will have a good time today. And of course, my big brother and co-anchor and big friend and many appellations. Good morning, Tokumbo or Jekunle, Mr. T.
Good morning, Fudge. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Alex. Isife, good morning. Then I say good morning, Nigeria. Wherever you're receiving us in diaspora, we welcome you to another big, beautiful show. It's a bumper package today, I promise you.
It is. It is, without letting the cat out of the bag, as they say. We'll be discussing double guests on Talking Points as a special edition. One, We're talking about, and it's all about arts and entertainment. Today, of course, we heard from Mr. Faye, who has opened the gates before we did. Today is a special birthday edition of episode for the most globally acclaimed exponent of the arts. Yes, we get to see all that. We get to talk about him all that. I hope all our guests show up. And then there will be Let's Rewind. We'll find a way of squeeze it in somewhere. The second edition for this month. That I trust you will enjoy. But first, a word from our ancestors. What do they have for us today? It says, there is no fool who is disowned by his family. Mr. T. Owegba. There is no fool who is disdained, disowned by his family.
Those who do it are foolish, in quote, because some people do. But no matter how bad it is, omowashini.
Yes, sir. They say thank you,
sir. Got it.
Okay. On that note, here on the Vintage Talk Show, we continue to talk truth to power, and shine light on dark spots. We have our starters, and I'm sure Sifa is ready. We have Nigerian entertainment news, global trends, and reviews of major newspaper headlines. Shall we start from the beginning? Sifa, are you ready?
Yes, I am fully ready.
She is not ordinarily ready. She is fully ready. Okay, shoot.
Zeb Ejiro to receive Lifetime Achievement Award in London. Renowned Nigerian filmmaker and producer Zeb Ejiro is set to receive a Lifetime Achievement Award at the 2024 Nigerian Week in London. The Nigerian Week is an international festival featuring a mix of entertainment and business events hosted annually in London, United Kingdom. According to an invitation extended to the producer of the 1996 hit movie, Domitila, the award is a recognition of Ejiro's significant contributions to Nollywood and the entertainment industry at large. The event, scheduled from 22nd to 28th of this month, is organized by SRTV London in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation, Federal Ministry of Trade and Investment, Nigerian Films Corporation, and the Association of Movie Producers of Nigeria, among others. Zeb Ejiro, born in Isoko Delta State, is the brother of Chiko Ejiro, also a notable filmmaker and producer, who passed away in 2020. In 2005, Zeb Ejiro was awarded the National Honor of Officer of the Order of the Niger by former President Olusegun Obasanjo in recognition of his immense contributions to the Nigerian film industry.
Yeah, congratulations to, they call him the Sheik. Congratulations to Zeb. Yeah, he's done very well for himself and his nation. Yeah. And I remember the fight over Domitila. The lady felt that she carried the role so well and she's synonymous with the role. So why not? So that Brandon has stuff with Domitila. And they was no, it's the creation of my brain. No, you can't take it over. And they went on until the council registrars for, I think, trademark or something, adjudicated and gave it to Zeb. Congratulations once again, Life Achievement Award. When you get to a certain age, all the award you get is just life achievement. You know, but I think he's working on some other projects. So, Zeb, we don't want only the life achievement. Still, that stuff to work, to win, races to win. Lawrence to convert.
He's still working. He's still working.
Yeah, he's still working.
Congratulate him. He's contributed a lot. He's come a long way. We remember Ripples in the 90s, you know?
Yeah, television series.
Yeah, that's where it started from. And He was one of the founders of Nollywood that started around Surulere, him and his brothers and the Mata brothers and so many other people who worked in that environment.
There's Zeb, Chico, Red, all of them. Great family, great work. Okay,
Fantastic.
let's move on.
Being an albino earned me popularity from birth. Adewale Elesho,
Hmm.
a veteran Nollywood actor, Adewale Adeoye, popularly known as Elesho, has revealed that he gained popularity from birth due to being born an albino. Adeoye, known for his humorous roles in Yoruba movies, shared this in a recent interview. He said, "I became popular from the day I was born. The news spread everywhere that a white man was born. Some people would scold me for coming to my house because I was giving birth to an albino. Others would even wonder if I'm Chinese. Many people would come to look at me out of curiosity. My birth was also a bit difficult. My late mother said the day I was born was a day of sorrow for her because she was of dark complexion and sold breakable plates supplied to her by the Lebanese. When I was born in Ibadan, my mother wept, fearing suspicion might arise that she had relations with one of the Lebanese. But when my dad arrived, my mother said he picked me up and started celebrating because I resembled his grandmother. He recounted how his elder brother, Yakini Adebola, would fiercely defend him because he was called an albino, admitting that when he accepted being one, his brother knew he wasn't offended by it.
Well, everybody has a story. But this man can abuse you.
Ah,
I think that's his specialty.
that's his specialty.
He can abuse.
You know what? He appears to me as somebody who has his own lines already in his head. The script is just there. He has his own.
For a program, I went for a burial celebration, and he said that he doesn't know how to dance. That they taught him several times how to dance, but he didn't. That dance was not part of him. That his life was more of acting than of dance. I cannot dance at all. He doesn't know how to dance. Everything about him is acting.
It's something
taught
else.
him dance to a lot of extent, but
He just couldn't.
It's natural. It's natural.
More of acting than of dancing.
Man, if this, except you unless you don't understand Yoruba, if this man should abuse you, you will lose your guard, you will lose your gentlemanliness. Anyway, that's a nice word. Albinism is not the end of life. I mean, absence of pigmentation does not affect your brain or your talent or your gift. So, Elisha, right on. Okay.
Stop using please. Go to court if chose defame you. Mr. Macaroni. Nigerian comedian and actor Adebowale Adedayo, also known as Mr. Macaroni, has called on fellow celebrities to pursue legal action if they believe they have been defamed by online trolls, rather than resorting to using the police to make illegal arrests or detentions. In a post on social media handle, Mr. Macaroni stated, "If anyone insults you or damages your reputation, take the matter to court and seek justice. APC trolls insult me and spread numerous falsehoods about me. I have never resorted to using the police to make illegal arrests or detentions, and I never will. There are serious dangers associated with using the police to unlawfully detain citizens. I hope those of you who support this abuse of power won't protest when you or your loved ones become victims." To clarify, this is not condone online bullying and harassment. I strongly condemn it and believe that those involved should face the consequences of their actions.
Yeah, I believe I speak for everyone here that we strongly support his position. For any reason, why deploy state power illegally to harass, to detain, to marginalize other people? Doesn't make sense. If you're sure of your case, go to court. Although these people are like irritant, they can really annoy the daylight out of you, and especially if it is all falsehood. Imagine the story about Olu Jacobs being dead. It was all
Yeah.
over the place that the other Sunday. But when he celebrated when he marked his 82nd birthday on the 11th of July, they didn't say anything. They kept quiet. The
They
the,
kept
the
quiet.
man came alive and he resurrected.
You know, like we said on that day about that rumor, we
Yeah.
really need to do something about our cyberspace. As much as we want freedom of expression, it shouldn't be abused.
Hmm.
And there are issues with our criminal justice system. The police
Yeah.
should not be at everybody's beck and call over
At
every
all.
issue. There should be a
Hmm.
process, you know. We shouldn't be in an environment where they just lock a person up, then they now begin to
For one
investigate.
for
I
one
mean,
spurious complaint or the other, you know.
yeah,
I hope we get it right. It's been same complaints year in, year out. It's not right. Not right. You see police carrying guns, coming to markets to come and buy things. I see some foreign entities like that coming to buy stuff in back. They're helping them to carry the food stuff, open doors, and I was cringing with embarrassment, you know. But they're
yeah.
looking for their
They
daily
even
bread. So
went
if
to
you
a nightclub. They went to a nightclub with a popular musician, and there was an accidental
Oh
discharge in the
yes, I
club.
remember that. I remember that. That was a shot fired. Hmm. Okay.
Okpelope anointing reward fans at 24th anniversary of hit track. Veteran gospel musician, evangelist Mrs. Duni Olarewaju, popularly known as Okpelope Anointing, has been making a lasting impact on our fans through her timeless works. In addition to her musical contributions, she is well known for her life-saving initiatives, particularly in providing community and healthcare services to the underprivileged. Each year, the high point of the celebration of our popular song, Ọpẹ́lọpẹ́ Anointing, includes activities to make the event more impactful. This year, as part of the 24 years of Ọpẹ́lọpẹ́ Anointing Super Hit Track celebration, Olanrewaju has planned various activities, including support for the needy, revival sessions, free healthcare services, Thanksgiving service, and award presentations to individuals who have supported our ministry over the years, among others. The program commenced on 28th June with a video at the Christ Apostolic Church, Ọpẹ́lọpẹ́ Anointing Praise District Headquarters, Ile-Iwe Bus Stop, Egbe Ijimu, Lagos, where prayers were offered for Nigerians and Nigeria. The high point of the one-week event, the award presentation, took place on 6th of this month, while the grand finale, a Thanksgiving service, and free medical outreach were held on 7th of this month at the church premises.
I suspect that you haven't heard that song since it was released
Yeah.
24 years ago.
I have, I have.
Yeah,
I
that's
know
true.
this
Because
song.
the way you are calling it, it sounds like you haven't heard about
Exactly.
it. It's not Ọpẹ́lọpẹ́
I
Anointing.
didn't want to use
You have to call it
Ọpẹ́lọpẹ́.
Yoruba tone.
Yoruba tone.
I know. You're trying to be
Is it,
too, you know.
if I may, is it me or is the song more popular than the artist?
Of course,
This
that's
song is
the
more popular, yes.
it is a signature tune.
Mm.
I don't know if she's done anything bigger than that, but she has changed her name for. I mean, I'm getting to see that she's Doni Olanrewaju or something like that. Doni
Yeah.
Olanrewaju. Yeah, I don't know her as Doni. I just know her as Ọpẹ́lọpẹ́ Anointing and all that.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
When they want to introduce her, they call her Ọpẹ́lọpẹ́ Anointing. Then they not say evangelist, so. You know, it's like Ayewa for many years. As far as people are concerned, is Amono Tetewa. You know, though he
Yeah.
had other great stuff. Yeah, yeah, good for her. 24 years. Huh. Time to
Wow.
run, no. Hmm.
Yes.
Hmm. Okay, do we still have more? Oh, that's all. Lovely, lovely. Thank you so much, AC Fair, for your anointed this presentation there. Thank you so much. We'll take a short break. And this guy says is number one. Today, Esife is our number one voice. This is from Joe Boy.
Hello, Mr. T. Oh dear. I think Mr.
Yeah, you can talk now.
T is freezing up, I think.
We can hear you.
Hello, Mr. T, are you there?
Oh, it's still. The picture is still. It's
Yeah.
there. Mr. T, can you hear Alex? Oh,
Wow.
the video is still. It must be network. This thing doesn't stop.
Let's see again. Ah,
Yeah, it's gone off. Okay, Alex, you have the global trend, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay. You're not doing the Facebook thing. You forgot.
No, I didn't forget. The only problem is I have to even leave earlier because of
Okay, when are you going? Now.
I'm leaving now. Yeah.
Okay.
Although I told my people to follow for. I mentioned that your fans should follow entertainment segment.
He's trying to come back.
Yeah. I heard him speak briefly before he went off.
I think I drink too much. Silly girl. Yeah, Mr. T is not ready. Okay, we'll move on. Yes, we're back. We're still on the Vintage Talk Show, and we are moving on to Global Trend. The last music was by Joe Boy, uh, called Number One. It's from his 2021 album. Here we are. Alex, are you ready for us?
Yes, I'm ready. We're going right into global trends. And the first story takes us to Russia. And the title is Russian Espionage. An Australian soldier and her husband have been arrested and each charged with spying for Moscow. Well, wouldn't that be Australia? The story is situated in Australia.
I suspect so.
Yeah.
I suspect so.
That's a very serious charge. Yeah.
Very serious. Very serious. Very serious. Thank God it's not reversed. It's not. It's not that. It's not an Australian in Russia. That would be.
That could be terrible.
That would be fatal.
I've heard about Russian prisons, and
that's if you get to prison. That's you assuming you will get to prison. They just given Navra was that guy that died.
Right?
Yes, the wife. They've they've given her in absentia. They have already sentenced her. So anytime she comes to the country, she's going to the gulag straight. Oh, Russia. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on, Alex.
So for the next story, we're going to West Africa and Niger Republic in particular. It's titled Jailbreak. Several prisoners in Niger have escaped from a heavily fortified prison known to hold Islamist militants.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah. It's worrisome for us because
It
we're
is.
near neighbors, and Nigerian borders are something else,
Yeah,
So that's
and
worrisome.
you have a
Worrisome.
growing trend of radical Islamists who are
Yeah,
sweeping across everywhere,
yeah, yeah.
causing a lot of mayhem.
I
Uh,
fear for our northern borders. I fear, I really fear. Mm.
Already we have issues with that area. All
Mm-hmm.
right. Okay. The next story is titled Tory Towie. The Irish flight attendants charged with criminal offenses in Dubai after she was allegedly a victim of domestic violence has expressed relief to be back home.
Yeah, yeah. If you claim sexual infraction against people in that area, and they slap you with criminal offenses, the best place to be is in your natural home. Oh. I
Yeah,
thank God for our life. Mm.
because the law in that part of the world, man, there are layers and
Mm.
layers of things you have to wade through.
Mm.
And you're in a foreign land, they're speaking a different language. So
Uh,
it could be in
and
trouble.
you can't discount the fact that it could be trumped up charges. It could
Yeah.
be trumped up so that they can to cancel our accusations or allegations and what have you.
So it's better to
Okay,
just leave and go
just
home.
leave. Mm,
All
just
right.
leave. Be on your own. Yeah.
We're moving on. The next story is titled High Octane Attendee List. It says a high profile guest has such as billionaire Kim Kardashian rather, and former UK Prime Minister Tony Blair have landed in Mumbai to for the wedding of Anant Ambani and Radhika Merchant.
Mm.
That's India, Mumbai, right?
Yes, yes. That's the
Anand Ambani.
biggest wedding of the century. Hmm.
Yeah, very
I
rich.
understand. Our own Rema is collecting $3 million. Nigerian player bloggers have started calculating the naira value for.
Jesus Christ.
for it.
To perform there, right?
That is back. It, perform there is earning supposedly $3 million. So they've already calculated. I think it's 9 billion, maybe 14 billion or 41 billion, some ridiculous amount like that. You know.
Yeah.
The chap getting married is a son of the richest man in Asia.
Yes,
They said
yes.
richest billionaire also
You
in
know,
Asia.
it's too much, too much money,
Too
too
much
much
money.
money. So you need special guests. I mean, your guests have to also be billionaires. Those who have time to move around like Kardashian. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
We're going to the United States for the next story, and the title of the story is Stubborn Joe, and it's referring to President Joe Biden, who hits the campaign trail after he dismissed concerns around his candidacy during a press conference on Thursday.
Mm.
Biden is not having a good time, if we're to speak the truth. He is
Oh,
not.
at all.
I reviewed some of the statements he made in public in recent times. It's been a
Mm.
tragedy. Can you imagine him referring to the president of Ukraine as Putin?
As
Calling
Putin.
him,
Yeah,
I
that was
mean,
really
That one is
sad. Very sad.
even manageable. They are both fighting. You can crossfire. What about calling his own deputy Kamala, calling him
Kamala.
Vice President Trump? Oh, it's normal with old age. It's normal. It's just that he said he has done neurological. I watched him on CNN. Even pronouncing the neurological or neuroses and all that was a little bit,
He
disappointing.
got he got it right up to some points. Now, however, all over Russia is a comedy show already. You know what they
Don't
did in
mind those.
Russia? They picked the
Don't mind
gaps,
those.
and they played
Don't
them
mind
back to
those.
back and made
They are
analysis of
trolls.
everything.
There are professional trolls in that place.
Yeah.
Don't mind them. I suspect Biden will trudge on, will insist, and he may lose the presidency. You know, in a very queer country like that, you don't know what
You
triggers
know,
them.
Fudge, you are very right, because this morning's poll is showing that he's 50% on the preferable list compared to Trump's 48. They are quite close though, and
Quite.
I wonder why they will still allow him on, because it's
They can't.
quite.
No, no, no. They can't do anything to him. Because he has the electorate. He has the what's it called? Electoral votes. He has the delegates already. They can, except he chooses to resign. They
to
can't.
step down.
But
Yeah.
strong voices are coming up, like Nancy Pelosi,
Mm-hmm.
insisting that I mean, that's a very strong supporter. You know,
Very.
of course, Clooney was very, 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 very nasty
Really
in his.
was diplomatic, but
But even in America, you want to ask if they're ready for a female presidential candidate to really run this time.
No, no,
You
that
know,
would be a stretch. That would be
yeah.
they
that
will
would be a stretch.
they will bring her down if she suggested. They will bring her down. They are ready to do that.
Especially the
They are ready.
Republicans, with all
Mm-hmm.
their sophistication and civilization, they haven't reached that level. They have,
Yeah, they're
they have
They
not
still
reached that
haven't.
level.
they're still
To
They
get
haven't.
another black
chauvinistic.
man also is going to be tough. No,
Yeah,
but it's a terrible thing when someone who they could call a felon, if they could call a
Yeah.
convicted felon, in the next 3 or 4 months, will now have chance to be the president. Oh
I
God, I'm
wonder.
waiting to hear what they will say, how they will spin it.
I
Because if it
wonder.
is Africa, they will say we are backward, we are this. I'm
America.
waiting for how they will spin it.
America is a
So
very interesting
you have a
place. It's
full
a very.
blown felon on the seat in White House. We shall see. Yeah, there he walks out.
You know, you know
Okay.
what, Paj? Play it back in
Mm.
Nigerian sequence. Play it back in your mind in Nigerian sequence. You imagine what the papers will be doing at the moment.
I don't even want to start. Our own, we are used to it being a laughing stock. We are used to it. I don't want to. I mean, it's just nice to have somebody now be in the spotlight and
Mhm.
squirming in the spotlight with ignominy. But America, I know they have bone face. They'll just chill
You
and
chill.
find a
Mhm.
justification for it. Okay, Alex, do we still have some more?
yeah, we do. We're going to France next. The title of the story is "Playing with Fire," and it says two French international rugby players have been charged with aggravated rape of a woman following a match in Argentina. Prosecutors in the South American country say. So,
Hmm.
two French rugby players playing in Argentina have allegedly raped a lady. Hmm.
It's not just rape, but they say aggravated rape.
Uh,
That has a tone, some wicked tone to it.
yeah,
Aggravated. You know, that means there was no discussion, no consent, not they don't even try to toast the girl. Allegedly. So they do not let us jump the gun. Okay,
yeah.
I wish them luck. Hmm.
We're moving to Europe next, and the title of the story is Euro Binge. And it says pubs across England confirm they won't run out of beer ahead of Euro 2024 final on Sunday, where Gareth Southgate's men will face a mighty Spanish team.
Hmm.
I'm giving it to
Well,
Spain, if you ask me. I don't
well,
think
it's very difficult betting against England. They play
uh,
nonsense and they win. I don't know. I don't know how they
like
do it.
somebody said on Facebook that they wumbled and fumbled to the
They,
final.
to the final. I don't know how they do it. They have great players on the bench, and those who appear tired and worn out from exertions and a long season are in the first 11.
Mm.
Somehow, by the time they change, he said his substitutes are finishers, not that coach, I don't know.
But if you,
I can't vouch for Spain
yeah,
that Spain will win. Even when they appear the better team, you
yeah.
know, England, they just do guru, you just go. That's the end.
So they're
That's the
saying they're reserving a lot of beer in the pubs for
ah.
celebration.
People, these people, they look for excuse to drink. You know, yeah, they look for excuse to drink. They drink themselves into stupor. So if there are any mistake, they win that final. They have to carry some people home. Oh. They, are not, they will not be on their feet.
Okay. From the
Oh, man.
UK, we're going to the Middle East, and the last story says
We'll end there, okay?
rescuers struggles. Gaza City has been designated on Wednesday as a dangerous combat zone by Israel forces, who called all residents to evacuate south. Rescue workers in the Gaza Civil Defense say they often struggle to identify victims killed in the conflict. So that conflict is regrettably it's raging on. It's raging
Original.
on. Yeah.
It's so
And it's so
sad.
sad. It's so sad.
They
And
struggle to identify victims. That means they are obliterated. They
yeah,
can't see
You
their
know,
faces. Terrible.
and the one that actually shocked me a few days ago was the attack on the children's hospital.
yeah,
Yeah.
That was sad and very wicked, mean, callous, whatever you can call it. And this man is still bragging about it. And the rebels fell down, and they are still searching for children. They're still searching. Yeah, if you go online, you'll still see emergency work still going on to get down to where they are. The whole building structure came flattened out all of a sudden
Oh.
in
in the
a
name of
Well,
conflict
war.
situation, you know,
well,
you
we
have a
continue
lot of
to
innocent people in the
Innocent.
harm's way. Yeah, and it's
well
so
we continue
terrible.
to hold out peace offering, begging them to visit the table. We have been begging Russia and Ukraine for 2 years. Now we are begging Israel and Hamas to shield their swords and give peace a chance. Let life continue. Let there be progress. Let there be peace. You know, nobody makes headway with all these wars and attacks and all that. It does no one any good, except the weapon manufacturers. You know,
Yeah, the arms dealers always smile to the bank.
they never.
Some of them will
Well,
supply weapons to both sides of the conflict.
mhm.
Yes.
Okay. With that, on that note, we have come to the end of global trends. We'll take a short break and come back with newspaper reviews. Let's listen to Davido and Ashake when they say no competition. Oh, but since go ahead.
Yeah. Super.
Oh, yeah, early comer. Welcome.
Uh,
Bosu,
Good to see you.
congratulations.
yeah,
Congratulations. Supreme Court judgment.
Yes, so we thank God.
This is not
Edmond,
Bosun.
are you going to stay with us here 8 o'clock? We have a newspaper review. Fantastic. Thank you. Good to see you.
yeah, no, I might,
Okay.
I will be okay.
No problem.
Good morning.
So far you
Sorry.
Good
so far you
morning.
so far you keep radio silence.
Yeah, no, Allah. If I'm good
Thank you, my
like this,
brother.
then I'm good. All right.
Yeah, good. Yeah, good. I was worried that old people they may not get the link right. They might be struggling with
Fudge.
technology. That man is
It's
very
very straightforward.
colleague, go, Mr. Tio. We are
Huh?
young boys
What?
behind. Yeah, you are colleagues. Yeah,
Fudge,
yeah,
don't go
just
there. Fudge, don't go there. Let me explain this thing to you. Let me explain it to you. These machines, now listen, Edmond, listen, Alex. These machines, I told Fudge, they have a mind of their own. And they always play these tricks on old people. Not that old people cannot get into it. But you are giving it a command, and the command is showing you something else, and you are wondering, Kinimote, what's this one?
it's true.
Which
It's
one is
true.
this one? And you are calling your son or your daughter, and the other, daddy, is this one now? And bam, the thing is rectified, and you say, how did you do it? So they have a mind
Yeah,
of their own somehow. So it's not our
yeah.
fault. It is
Well,
not our fault.
we
It's a
take your
You
word
are
machine.
for
just
it.
It's a machine world. It's a world of the machines. It's
yes,
been a long time now. How are you doing, sir?
yeah, it is. Yesterday we were at the French Cultural Center for the uh, first view of The Man Died by Awam Ankpa, which is based on the
It's prison
He's
notes.
Onchoiga's
featured
The
in that.
Man Died the book.
It's
He's
prison
featured in it.
notes.
Yes. Sorry?
I said you acted in it.
Yes, yes,
You
yes,
were in the Man Died, right? The film.
yes, yes, I was. That was why I had to be there yesterday.
That's lovely.
Okay.
Uh, by the way, I recommend that you guys should see that movie. It's a
I
very,
must watch.
very different movie from the
From
book that you read, or very, simplified. Everything was simplified in that film. And
Wow.
again, I am sure that you will not regret what
I'll watch it.
because they did a very
Computer,
good
thank you. We're going
cinematography.
back on live. We're going back live. Don't worry, we'll go
Okay,
and watch it.
all right.
Thank you. Yeah, we're back. This is still the Vintage Talk Show. I'm with Tokumbo Ojekunle, Alex Ogundadegbe, and just dropping in is Bosun Oshifowara. Good morning, Bosun. I was going to cancel your picture before I realized that thank God you're not wearing Arsenal jersey this morning.
Good morning, Uncle Fudge. Good morning, Uncle T. Good morning, Mr.
Good
Alex.
morning.
Good morning,
Good
everyone.
morning. Good
Nice to
morning,
meet you
Bosu.
guys.
Welcome.
Okay, we have some newspapers this morning. There's one particular paper that just rebranded, and its design is a design not to sell on the road because I don't understand where you're using only one story and they fill the whole place. And then sometimes I don't think they're interested in selling on the road. We'll come to them and I'll mention their names, their name. But let's start with Saturday Sun that has a huge headline that says the aftermath of the Supreme Court ruling. It's a governors in trouble. States in dilemma over funding of LCDAs. 20 states with unelected council officials won't get allocations. Will comply after studying judgment. Don't comply. where you, where do you That's the Nigerian Governors Forum. They will comply. They will comply. Don't comply. The Supreme Court has given you order. You are saying you comply. Anyway, is there any hope for governors in terms of insisting that they want to, when you have chopped money for so long and they want to stop the feeding bottle, it can be very devastating. So I don't blame the governors. One of the former governors was even again. He wrote an article and saying it's not right for. So I said, look at this spoiled brat. Okay, let's hear from the lawyer. Is there any remedy for the complaining governors in case they want to insist that?
The normal balance is after Supreme Court, you go to God.
It's God.
Whether it's prayers.
God. It's God.
But on a more serious note, sir, this is the only country where I see people, they start a racket and they pattern their lives along that racket without thinking that one day this thing will end.
Then,
so they started this thing from Court of Appeal and then went all the way to Supreme Court. Anytime you go into a case, what should be at the back of your mind is this case could go left or right. So at that point, you start preparing your mind for any eventuality. Now, so then this is a case what I can liken to when the Israelites were getting free manna. By the time they got into Canaan, God said, you will work with your hands. Manna has stopped. Manna has ceased. So this is basically what it is. In fact, what the catch here for me is that they should have said they should return all the monies in the past. But law doesn't work. Law doesn't work in retrospect. That's when they would have been in trouble. But they just said going forward, just leave someone to hold his money. How is that a problem? I've seen the articles from different quarters. I've seen some people, it was the Bori that said he's undemocratic, it's against the spirit of democracy. And I'm wondering,
and federalism.
Is that what a Democrat?
What is federalism exactly?
I wonder.
So by the money of another tier of government is democratic.
They are used to chopping money.
Also, you should not be quoting Ibori. Ibori is not a Democrat. We know what Ibori is.
Well, we are a democracy, so you can. Let me quickly use this analogy, sir. Growing up, I have this uncle, and they told us a story about him. Fantastic man, but they told us what he did when he was with my other uncles. They were younger to him. They said every time he just came one day, once they're eating, way back, I'm talking 40s, 50s, and early 60s.
Who are you referring to?
An uncle of mine. They said he would tell them that they should bring all their meat. They grew up in Ijebu, so it was an agrarian setting, that they should bring their meat, that it will help them to plant it, and then it will grow. That when it grows, it will give them meat.
You plant the meat.
Yes. Because those ones were young. They didn't know anything. They kept giving them meat. So I think that the thing went on for years. They said one day, one just said, come, harvest is every year. Where is that year's hope? That's how the veil just fell off their faces and they stopped giving them the meat. That's basically what has happened here. You're collecting the local government's meat, helping them to plant it. The thing didn't grow. Now they've said, local government, go and take your meat and plant it by yourself. Do whatever you want with it. That's basically what the states have been doing for the local government. So, and game is up. So they should readjust and realign, like the coastal line, and realign their own financial positions and find a way to go about it. But let me just say on a final note, sir, they will still find a way around this thing. This is Nigeria. It may, except they put EFCC on their trail and tail. That's when you will have pure transparency. But if not, Nigerians will quickly find a way around things and still go back to how it used to be.
Is that possible? Except they collude with the president, though.
They will collude. They will collude.
I say with the president. I don't think the president is the one that instituted the case. Why will he collude with them? And the funneling of the money is it not directly to the source, straight to state and straight to LCD, except
how did they get elected? How did they get elected?
They just they will carry the money to give them
something there to you. The money, it doesn't work like that.
You can't isolate yourself from the state's structure. You still have to pay. You still have to reach back to the state governor and the house members, there are ways they can circumvent this
see.
law.
But
You
the
remember the
politics
Jebu
at the
case?
local level will change. Oh.
You know, remember, Boston, the one from your village, sorry, your compound,
Yes,
the Jebu, is it Jebu West local government chairman
no,
accusing others
it's from
of
my
going to
place,
prostrate before governor. They went
He
to
did
prostrate
it.
before the governor, you know, to beg
Yes.
him that no, they are not like that boy. He's very stubborn boy. He's not our.
Yes.
He's not our.
It's from my. That's where I'm from. Ijebu East.
I know now. So what you are saying is true. They will just carry the local government money to go and give them a home. Say, Esa,
Most
you
of them are not electable. We know how some of them got there. So
They
that's
will
the
rot in jail.
problem. So
They will rot in
because most of them are stooges of the state governor. That's why you have things like that. Most of them cannot stand election in their home and win against their wives or children. So they just put them in these places. So now the election at that level will change.
It will change.
I think the reforms are creeping in. The reforms are creeping in gently. The next one will be an electoral process for the local government. It should be outside of the state. It should be out of their hands. You know,
it's already out of their hands with this judgment.
It's already out, Fudge.
It's out of their hands.
It's not centralized anymore.
I'm talking about the electoral process.
Yes, it was captured in the old judgment.
In the judgment, yes, it's there.
Oh, great. Okay, that's the local government autonomy as a whole.
Autonomy, yes.
Okay. Thank you. These four stories are consistent in virtually all the papers, except the one that has no business in selling on the road. Let's go to the Vanguard, the Saturday Vanguard. The Saturday Vanguard. It says Soyinka at 90. That's apart from the local government autonomy. Soyinka at 90. Exhibition stage performances held to celebrate Kongi. Tinubu renames National Art Theatre after him. Ooh.
Lovely.
Ooh.
That's
massive. That's massive.
Lovely.
What do you guys think?
Oh, wow. It's a big plus for me. My only concern is since WS got his Nobel laureate, have we actually done this for him? I don't think we have done this as a nation. It's a big, impactful decision, and I do not know where this thought came from. For me, it's a good one. It deserves that and a lot more. Yeah.
The president has been fantastic this week.
Why are you saying that this week? In particular,
look at autonomy, Wole Soyinka, plenty other things. Let's give it to our president. We have been complaining.
He has been acting. He has been acting this
one thing that will annoy you, and in the next minute, he will just pacify you.
Populists, yeah, nice one.
That's the Machiavellian mentality.
Yeah,
I hear you. Okay, here's a very sad one.
National theater. Can I just say just a little word. I personally think that the Wole Soyinka Center for blah 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 is damn too long. They should have just simply renamed it Wole Soyinka Center and end it there, and everybody knows it's National Theater, just like you have the Lincoln Center in US. They are just Wole Soyinka Center, the Soyinka Center. You know, there are no Wole Soyinkas, and the center is where all artistic activities take place. So it would have just simply been the Wole Soyinka.
Don't worry. Center. People like you will make it bear that name over time. That's what we use. Don't worry. I don't want to reveal the voice that I just peeped out, so it will remain incommunicado until I properly introduce him. Well, you will know why he's saying like he's talking like that. He's one of them, not them. But we'll come to him later. Let's move on. There's this sad piece of story, and is the lead of the Saturday Tribune. It says, Jos collapsed school building, 22 students killed, 132 hospitalized, 2 sustained spinal cord injury. Woman searches for 3 children. That's a tragedy that happened yesterday in the plateau. 132 hospitalized, 22 kids dead. Did anybody hear about the cause? What could have triggered this?
They don't know.
No, I didn't follow that story.
I just saw the news. I did. They didn't. There was no. They didn't put any cost. It was just a little bit of naps, and it was gory for me. I was reading it and I was scared because I was imagining what would have gone down. The whole pandemonium in that city.
It's terrible.
Right now.
Terrible.
It's horrible because you can imagine how many parents will besiege the hospitals, and if I was just thinking that if it's all these contractors that are responsible, or if it's all these funnily built things, then this one should just face firing squad and let's move. I wonder how much compensation will go down here if anybody can actually fight for them.
It's so tragic. It looks like a 2-story building crashing down one side, completely destroyed, crashing down. This has to be a construction problem. It's so sad. Imagine sending your children.
What came to my mind was Jos is one area where all this wahala has been going on. So I was just thinking, I hope it's not some terrorist related thing. If it's not terrorist related, then it must be construction issues, and that has to be dealt with. And
okay, let's take this one.
Trauma. Going to school for kids now would be traumatic.
It's terrible. It's terrible. Even far away, you just be imagining all kinds of things. You send 2 or 3 kids to school. You've gone to your own work, hoping they'll come back by 3, and then you get a call. Come and pick your child, or come and pick your children.
God forbid.
It's may God help those. I don't know. May God help them or to sustain. How do you do it?
How do you console
parents? Some parents have passed away, supposedly, from this matter. Someone missing 2 children and all that. It's tragic. The whole family wiped out suddenly.
The confusion.
Wow. Okay. My guest is going in and out, like preparing for his party. We take the Saturday Punch and call it a day on headline reviews. It leads with monitor. The main story says monitor governors, track local government funds. Algon, NULGE tell NFIU. I think that is Nigerian Police Force Intelligence Unit and all that. Warn states against disobedience to Supreme Court. Governors happy with verdict will comply, says the AGF. We'll be praying and be watchful. I think we continue to monitor on this program how our governors are behaving. If they are misbehaving, we will tell you.
You can guess what will happen. The government will use a party structure to control the.
We will be on their tails. We will be on their tails. This reform must work.
Yes, you know that Burna Boy's expression. You go explain, tire. No evidence.
we can. That's their own problem to explain. Okay.
Okay. It's money we are talking about. Serious money.
Very serious money. No, but like I always say, one day people will be more outspoken now. People will be more outspoken now. They'll be courageous. They will open the doors of the local government boss, ask questions, they will protest. Before they would send them to Alausa or somewhere. Go and ask them. They have not given us. But now it's at the doorstep.
this Twitter
Then people
generation will
can
not,
walk up to their local
not be
government chair and demand things.
and
That's what I
demand
mean. That's what I
and
mean.
So
demand and
all
take them
those
up
days
on
of
social media.
bringing someone
You know?
from another place to come and be local government chair, those ones are
Hmm.
gone. Oh. It has to be from within.
From
Okay,
within.
just
Yeah,
Our local
Boston.
government chairs who don't
True.
stay in local government, who don't have it, they don't even know them there.
thank you, gentlemen. Thank you so much. We'll have to call it a day on headline reviews. We started a little bit late, which is why we are um, stopping this a little bit early. Our guest is already in the house, um, and we want to love him, JJ, according to terms taken from what's his name, Shodimu's Sophomore many years ago. And listen to this while we welcome this man of the hour. Okay, thanks all. Our guest is Edmond Anaibe. Of course, you know him.
Hmm.
We call him Teacher Chike. That's sobriquet. We'll take to his grave because nothing can do about it. He's here. He's talking to us about entertainment, Nollywood, and of course his opinion about Shoyinka center or no center, and other matters. Um,
Good morning.
Good morning.
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 Yeah.
Welcome. Welcome
Um,
aboard.
well, you know Tokumbo already. There's Alex Ogundadegbe.
Yes.
I'm sure you know him. Uh, he was also for many years entertainment reporter with the Punch, and a lawyer, Boso Shifowora, who has a very canny way of disappearing when we start talking about anything that has to do with international issues. He has a way of disappearing. Okay, so I'm going to introduce him now, and then we ask him some questions. Please feel free to ask him questions. We are focusing about his journey in the theater arts and Nollywood. He's a big man in that industry. He's even a fellow of theater arts. That's the highest accolade for a thespian, and
Yes.
the young man has it. Okay,
You just called him a young man.
I didn't hear the joke.
Good morning.
No, he was just
Yeah.
appraising you. Alex was appraising you. Don't worry. It wasn't a joke.
Oh, okay. Okay. I will watch it later.
Watch it.
Okay, I'm going back on there.
Okay.
Love me tender, love me ginger, love me tender. Love, money, I tender love. Is it not Yemi Shodimu, the other guy? What's his name now?
It's
The guy
not
that
Shady
sang
Mo.
Sheyi.
Yeah, Shey showed him. Yeah, Shey.
Shafi Bello.
Yeah. She
Yeah, Bill.
That
or
was
something like that.
that was Tem with
Yeah.
Love Me JJ. A rechristening or is it a rehash of Sheyi Shodimu's Love Me JJ. Same name in the 90s. Nice work. Nice one. It's keep the flag of the old Trojans working. But we are back to the Vintage Talk Show with my friends Tokumbo Jakunle, Alex Ogundadegbe, and interestingly, Bosun is still around. We thank God for that. And we'll be inviting our first guest on Talking Points. Our guest is a notable artist with many outlets of expressions. In over 4 decades, he has been a journalist, an activist, critic, stage and screen actor, TV director, producer, consultant. He sashayed into national consciousness with portrayal of the popular character Teacher Chike in MTA Network's After the Storm in the late 90s. He won 3 awards as Teacher Chike, including the inaugural NTA Best Television Actor in 1998 and the Legends of Nollywood Award in 2013. To be specific, our guest was Art and Entertainment Editor in the Republic newspapers between 1987 and 1991. He was Organizing Secretary of Nigerian Union of Journalists, the Lagos chapter, between 1991 and 92. He's one of the originators of NANTAP, that is National Association of Nigerian Theatre Arts Practitioner. He was also an originator of what you call AWON, Arts Writers Association of Nigeria. Very busy bee. He served NANTAP in various capacities as the National Secretary General, I beg your pardon, and Director of Publicity. Then in Lagos as the interim chairman and then General Secretary. Today, he is called the Fellow of Theatre Arts. Please join me in welcoming on the Vintage Talk Show this morning, Edmond Emwesiri Enaibe. Welcome to the welcome. I'm looking for clap effects for you. Oh,
Drum roll.
Let's roll the drums. Let's roll the drums, Fudge. Roll the drums. Oh,
yes.
nice to have you here.
Welcome,
Thank you.
Edmond. Good
Thank
to
you.
see
Thank you very much, Faj. Yeah, it's nice to wake up to a day like this. It's very celebrative. A lot of celebration, artistic in the air, and I hope
Yes.
that it will also cascade into other areas of our
Yes.
lives.
Two things you will notice with Edmond is very voluble. He speaks his mind, and the voice is very sharp and clean, and then he likes big grammar, you know, cascade, crescendo. If you hear those things as we go along now, it's not his fault. It comes natural to him, and it's not posing. The man is too old to pose, so he's just saying it. Edmond, it's nice meeting you. How is it that even at I'm sure you are closer to 70 than 60. Well, maybe halfway. Let's say halfway or closer to halfway. Closer to halfway, let's say. Because old men, I don't know why they always deny their age. I don't know why they always
How comfort?
I'm not mentioning you, but see. So I was going to ask, why don't you don't get tired of the same profession? It didn't take you much to run out of journalism. You spent barely 10 years, less than 10 years there. Now you've been in this practice for more than 40 years. You're still there. You don't get tired or get exasperated or frustrated, or bored,
Well, when you are engaged in something that you love, you never get tired. Even when the returns are slow in coming, you still get satisfaction in the fact that you are engaged in something that is, one, contributing to humanity, and two, and which is much more important, you are satisfying your conscience and your heart. That is one of the reasons why people stayed long in the arts, irrespective, because with the arts, each year comes fresh challenge. Each year comes, you want to go to the next level. And for us who give expression through our body, i.e. acting, each stage of life also gives a new vintage expression of the art. And then again, beyond acting, sometimes you have some ideas that you want to put down, you direct or you produce. So for me, why I have stayed this long in the art is simply because I derive satisfaction and a kick. And when you see other colleagues and other mentors, still going on, we don't have any other reason other than to also keep up and also be relevant, which is another dimension of the challenge of longevity. Because with the so-called IT age that we have today, and with the young practitioner coming up with various means of expression, you also have to try to see how you can keep up with modern day demands of artistic expressions. So that in a nutshell, Shai, is my response to staying long in the profession.
May you continue to stay long with solid strides and more benefits, less frustration in Jesus' name. Amen.
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 Okay, I'm in a prayerful mood this morning. Now
I can feel it.
this my people say the horse does not eat the grass underneath him. Hmm? But sometimes in our profession, in our professions, generally speaking, we sometimes marry within it. You know, I, for instance, married a co-journalist. You know, um, I don't know what Bosun did. Uh, Alex, I don't know if it's the same. Mr. T, I know Mr. T is not that didn't go that way. Did you also eat from the grass underneath you? You know, did, did,
Well,
if you get what I'm saying.
This interview now,
in my own case, I
Expressions.
didn't have to, I didn't have to eat the grass under me.
Okay.
I sort of stretched the neck and did not go far from my genealogy. You see,
Okay.
my father, in during his days, God bless his memory, when he wanted to start exploring the African traditional man of not marrying one wife, his first forage as a soldier was to go to a place presently called Ondo State in Nigeria, and there he
Okay.
found a beauty. Started his, his extended wifery. So as his senior son, when it came to time for me to also settle, and remember that in our days we graduated from family looking for a wife for you to you looking for a
Yeah.
wife for yourself. So I
So,
decided to go with my father. I also went to Ondo States, and I also found a thing of beauty and a jewel of inestimable value. And I decided to pluck it from the Kale land. So that's where I went to eat, and that is where I am still eating, and that is where I intend to, God willing, finish all my eating, because I am a
you don't
Christian.
want any crumb.
You see,
You don't want any crumb.
when they say
No
where the
takeaway.
pasture, where the pasture is fresh,
Oh,
and
Hollywood.
there's no need to start wandering around, you know.
Yes.
So God has
True.
blessed me, and then I have 3 kids, wonderful kids, and
Thank Congratulations. Congratulations. While my colleagues are looking for their questions, let me ask one more. You 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 spent, I think it was like 2 or 3 years or more, that program After the Storm on the network,
yes,
and it was a weekly program every week.
yes,
And you are not, I don't think you were living on the Victoria Island then. And then you have to go for rehearsals, you have to feature this and that every day. Ah, is it that they are paying you so much, or the
well,
passion is overwhelming you? How do you manage consistently every week for 2 or 3 years?
but you see, that's a very interesting question, Faj. It is the wonder of a period in our national lives, particularly artistic, that we have, each time we go back, we look, how did we survive? You are talking about the great analog era
Hmm.
of our
Yeah.
country.
Yeah.
was a time that for us to do what we are doing today, everybody had to be at the studio. You have to
Yeah.
rush and do everything. Now, for us at that period, NTA was the ultimate in television programming in Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
At that period too, the traffic gridlocks we have today, we did not have at
Yeah.
that time.
Mm.
Interestingly, I moved to Ikorodu that
Okay.
period. So journey all the way from Ikorodu, 3
Mm.
days in a week
In a
to
week.
Victoria,
Mm.
to from go to location which was on Badore, which or rather in Badore. Uh,
Mm.
Today's Badore was not the Badore of 1996 to 99. Badore then was more like a small settlement. The roads were free. The Gondo Road, you can count the number of people you come across. Uh, the express road between Victoria Island and Aja, where you branch off to Badore, was equally in sparkling condition. Jakonde walk there was still very much enjoyable. So it would take us less than 20 minutes from NTA to Badore in those days. So things were moving on. The excruciating part was actually being able to, after every recording, every day of those 3 days of the week, you then go back to Ikorodu only to come back again very early the next morning. Those were the
Mm.
excruciating part. For financial fulfillment, for not wanting to sound critical of our present condition, the little that we were paid in those days was still enough because a lot of us were not working for money. We were just working for
Mm.
sustenance. And then we were just
Mm.
working to the fact that you are seen on television became a commitment on your part as an actor.
Mm.
I remember
Mm.
one of those particularly, we had gathered on a Friday. We are going to do some pickup shoots against the next episode of After the Storm. And we were just in front of the NTA gate trying to gather ourselves. And then one man coming from the Nigerian Mint, by the way, was not far from NTA. So now there was this northern man who was coming. I think they used to go to get refreshments just across NTA down the road near the
Mm.
bar beach. As he was
Mm-hmm.
approaching, he saw us, and then he screamed, "Teacher Chicken, eh? Teacher Chicken, Stanley! Wow! Wallahi, I saw you people on my television yesterday in Maiduguri. He was going around
Mm.
looking for as a camera or something to record this. It was unbelievable for him. And that was for us
Mm.
the very first time I knew how popular After the Storm had become and how acceptable the character had become. He literally lifted me off my feet, carried me, and then said, "Wallahi, wallahi, wallahi." And in his excitement, it was unbelievable for him that he was seeing me physically.
Live.
That, was experience, and it added to the passion to want to give more.
Mm.
Eventually we did receive more for the resilience of those periods, for the sacrifices that were made at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I tell
Mm-hmm.
you how much we were being paid every week for that, it was not up to 200 naira
Mm.
that I was being paid
Mm.
time
Mm.
as teacher. I was the national acceptable star all over the world. It was not up to 200 naira. But the
Wow.
satisfaction, the fact that you had recognition, that you had people who appreciated what you were doing, and the most important, that you had a pedestal to give expression to some of your innate artistic talents, that was enough contentment. But
Yeah.
years later, when those things will now pay back, was when you are anywhere, people give you a kind of, they give you, show respect and show you honor for touching their
Mm,
lives. Many people came
mm,
and then they were telling me, being called Teacher Chike for one once or the other. I about 10 years after the storm, I was engaged in a project, a documentary project, and then we were visiting we were going around the country. We were in uh, Benue, we were in Makodi, Government House Makodi, and then I was the manager of the project. So I went with my principal, and my principal was this tall, huge, very burlesque guy who thought the world evolves around him. So when we got there, and there, look, we are here to see the governor, we want to interview XYZ, blah, blah, blah. And then the guy he was talking with just looked at him and then glanced at me and saw me, and his face lit up. And then he screamed, "What are you doing here? What are you doing?" And then my principal, stepped back, looked at me again, and then he just left me. We got, doors were open for us. We got everything that we wanted from a government house. And then as we were leaving, the guy just glanced at me and didn't say a word. And then he said, "I didn't know you were that popular." I said, "No, don't worry. It was a program I did." But when we now went to the TV, and the same thing happened again. He just came to me and said, "Okay, you know what, Edmund? You will just be the one that will be our our front. Whatever wherever we want to go, we will just send you." So moments like that came the fulfillment for all the sacrifices, excruciating path we took during that time. And I must say,
okay.
for the very first time, when awards started coming in, it was for Teacher Chike, and I became a legend of Nollywood because of what I did with Teacher Chike over 15 years. The program was wasted.
After the program.
So,
Mm,
all this paper, I think it's what all the naira and all the gold that the CA kept back during those times that they did not pay us commensurately, but the economy too permitted it. Unlike
okay.
now, you won't say the same thing now.
While Alex or Mr. T are getting ready with their questions, if you have any question at home, at the office, or wherever you are, the number to call is 0913 697 3485. I repeat, 0913 697 3485. You may call to ask Teacher Chike any question. Okay, gentlemen, do you have something for him before we go?
Yes,
Okay.
if I may, I would like to refocus our questioning a bit more on national issues that concern the arts. I'm sure Mr. Naibe has been following the debates on the social media, where you have some very young people who know very little about the literary history of Nigeria, have been comparing Wole Soyinka to Chinua Achebe. What are your responses to all these unguided, to me, the unguided analysis about our literary history?
Well, that is very interesting. You see, the Igbo people whose language we are speaking now have an expression that describes what is going on in the literary field today. And that is when it comes to the youth, they call them, their behavior, they are referred to as exuberance. They are at a time when their adrenaline pumps so much, and then they do not think that because they want to also claim a space in the tight space of the world, they make the rubbish attainments before their time. So it, as far as I'm concerned, it's still same exuberance that is being exhibited. Because if you remember too, when we too were youths, we thought that those in the old generation were not doing things in the speed that we thought we had, uh, that we could go. I.e., they thought they would think that the old generation do not have the benefit of the fresh current knowledge that they have. The same thing is happening with this debate. Wale Soyinka and Achebe are great icons of the Nigerian literary world. Both of them thrived at different levels of literary creativity. Now, whether one was greater than the other is a matter of choice. Why was Soyinka given the Nobel when Achebe was alive and Achebe was not given the Nobel Prize? For me, Soyinka represents a total or the total artist, the total icon. As a writer, he wrote in all the genres of writing. As an artist, he gave expression in all the genres of artistic excellence. And he not only gave expressions, he also was a master of all that he touched. For instance, many people would say that, arguably, they will say that music is the most difficult, you know, uh, means of expression, because you have to coordinate both instruments and voice and create a melody that will be followed. So Inka gave expression to music. He also recorded a song that became at one point, which was also a testament to the person that he is, a critique of the society. It was that I love my country, I'm not gonna lie. Unlimited combustibility. I can't remember the title of that song again. Now, Achebe, on the other hand, was also a pioneer of sorts. He, as a prose writer, created today what is being celebrated the world over about the African world and the African's philosophy. If you go deep in his work, you will see that he provided a deep introspection into the psychoanalysis of the African at that period, at a time when in the Joseph Conrads of the world were writing about African savages. Achebe provided a period that Africans not only have their own religion and philosophy, but they had their own logical thinking process. Now, back to who is greater. You cannot claim any one of them is greater than the other, but you can only talk about achievements. Achebe has his achievements. Wole Soyinka has his achievements. The youth today do not grow up in the literary environment that we grew up, wherein we had to, for instance, study deeply all literary expressions or creations of these writers in their prime at that time. So, having said that, I think that we should not give advantage to the arguments being put by the youths, which is for me is trying to demarcate and divide a very, very serious literary world that we do not need to divide. Soyinka and Achebe remain great icons of the Nigerian literary world. They remain great sons of Africa, and we should not bother ourselves about trying to fall into that very thin and sharp line of wanting to create tribalistic divide in Nigeria. Let us celebrate, which is for me, we should celebrate their artistic depth. We should celebrate the fact that they were able to put Africa in the map of world literary geniuses. Hello.
Well, Mr. T with the last question.
Yes, I would have just gone into what Alex asked, but I think we don't have time. So let me just throw this to you. In your active days, very active days, you're still active, sorry, issue of censorship and control, were they very prevalent in those days? Controlling the scripts, controlling acting, controlling directing, and the things that were portrayed in most of the works we watched. Were the controls and censorship very, very strong compared to what we have now? I want to know.
Well, realistically speaking, there has never been a time that we had not worked under restrictions, under control. And I think those restrictions and control too have challenged our artistic forage and incursion in the arts. I give an example. The period of the 70s and 80s were great periods in the times in terms of literary in Nigeria. The writers were writing with a verve to want to leave a stamp that African writings and literary was also very relevant to world literature. Then we move on as national experiences. We then went on to when the military were trying to be nationally conscious and then trying to push the people to work. And then the artists of that period too also rose to and also gave verve to all those national demands. For us as creatives, this same period in our time, these restrictions for writers who were trying to write on the side of the masses, also tried to see how they could circumvent those restrictions to be able to reach the artists. So for us in doing those creative works like the Village Headmaster and After the Storm, and trying to be socially and politically relevant, we had to also create in a manner too that we were writing to not fall into a problem with the law, i.e., as journalists. Faj, you will remember this very much. A lot of editorials were written very critical, and the writings of the likes of Delegiwa and Reeku, you remember people were not only reading them as case studies, but also reading them because they wanted to be relevant to political developments around the country and in the world. Yes, there were restrictions. And those restrictions became where how we were able to get great artistic creations that stood the times of, like we say in literature or rather in expression, that they stood the test of time. There were restrictions, but they challenged us. And that is why you have all those things that came out during Y brigade of Buhari Diagon's era. Those were you have the creations like programs like Family Ties. I'm not talking about the one I directed now. I'm talking about the one that Lala Fanikayode directed.
I remember.
All those periods of that time, people worked around it. Today there is a lot of loose, which is where I think you are going. Censorship. There's a lot of loose programming on air, and that is because of technology of the technology of TikTok and WhatsApp and all those other. Everybody can just use their phone, record something, and then put it on air. Those days, you have to pass through the eye of the needle. You have to pass through a lot of censorship. You have to pass through a lot of people who will, first of all, go through your scripts and your program, even though you have already recorded before it goes on air. I hope you will not ask me to compare both, because in wanting everybody to have freedom of
No, we will not.
expression. I think
We will
there's
not
still
ask.
need for restriction.
We will not ask you.
Yes.
We
You didn't go
will
there.
only thank you for sharing your thoughts with us today.
Thank you.
This has been very lovely. I've been chatting with Edmond and Naibe, fellow of the theater arts. Thank you so much. It's been fielding questions from Tokumbo, Jekunle, Alex Ogunda, and my humble self. And Boston has been keeping watching brief, very reluctantly. We will soon,
Legal observations.
we will soon excuse him. No, we will
No,
do this moment.
I enjoyed it. I know him, so I wanted to really
Okay.
listen to him.
Okay, well, I was wondering, maybe, you don't look like you look like a captive audience, and I didn't want you to feel. Anyway, Edmond, thank you so much for joining us. We hope to see you some other time, and have a wonderful day today. We'll be talking about
Sorry.
Wole Soyinka at
Please,
90.
in
I'm
rounding up, I think
yeah.
it's only good that I mentioned this. I mentioned Wole Soyinka in person, but Soyinka today is celebrating his 90th birthday, and I think it is
Mhm.
only right for me as a former student of his, as one too that has taken inspiration from a lot of the things that he stands for. We also wish him a happy 90th birthday, and wish that he continues to live so that we have reasons to celebrate an icon, not only of Nigerian and African descent, but actually an icon of the world. God grants him more lives and longevity. I also want to end on your prayerful note, Fat. Um, Thank you very much for this opportunity and for listening. Hey guys, Tokes,
All right.
Alex, I greet everybody. But you too. Thank you.
You're welcome. Take care.
You see the
Yeah.
problem of professionals. She has taken over the whole thing. She has completed the outro. She has finished everything. We thank you so much, Edmond and Naibe. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye bye. Teacher Chike, you're already teaching us the whole tricks.
How
Our
Nadi?
next guest is around. Is another member of the old brigade. Well, young old brigade trying to get his technology going. Um, like Mr. T would say, those things have a life of their own, uh, apart from the old people. So we're waiting for him to join us. But while we're waiting, we'd like to play this as an intro to our celebration of Wole Soyinka at night. Today it is his birthday, the 13th day of July. Don't read any meaning. It's not a pun. Uh, I was not making a pun. I will. Let's hear this from Jimmy Shulanke.
Wow.
Should come back on air. Yeah, the link. It was in before. Okay. Incomprehensible level gbọ́. Indefatigable level gbọ́. That was Jimmy Sholanke. Unfortunately, we lost him earlier this year. I think it was 88 or 80, 83 or 80 something. And I could see his quasi contemporary, Mr. T, shaking to the music and moving.
That is oh, Faj, you know something I want to say. Both of them, in terms of Jimmy Sholanke, Tunji Oyelano, WF himself, they came together and did an album once. It was called Limited on Liability Company during the Abacha era. And it was like a national anthem on major radio stations then in my days. It was so good that the lyrics today still make a lot of sense, putting the lyrics together. So they're quite, you can't separate them in terms of voice quality, music sense, drama, artistic presentations and stuff. And they are always together in my mind. That's the truth. Unfortunately, they are always together. When I see him, I see this person. Yeah.
The great icons of our time. Tunji Oyelano is still alive. I think he's in the States or overseas. Jimmy Sholanke is gone. Kongi is still here with us. And what's it called? Enabe was just telling us about the film made of him, of his book, The Man Died. It's also of the same title and says how simple, he had to really tell us how simple, straightforward, easy to understand it is, because most students were lamenting and crying about understanding how appreciating The Man Died. Yes.
I didn't appreciate The Man Died until 2 years after I bought the book. I would read every line. I said, "What Kinima?" So, and we had a teacher, a literature teacher. We would always go there, and he was bringing questions out from this book. And I said, you know.
How is he able to? I think it's mostly because of his stream of consciousness kind of style he was writing in. I think it was fantastic. It's fantastic as a poet, as a playwright. I mean, his plays are something else. Incredibly fantastic. I don't think anybody can write better than Kongi in plays. His poetry is out of this world. But his novels,
his novels were. And you remember the poem? Oh, the poem Abiku. Abiku, right?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yes, fantastic.
In vain your bangles cast charm circles at my feet. I'm Abiku calling for the first time, repeated time. You know,
because of his mastery, he understood the Yoruba language very well. He also understood the English language very well. So he could express Yoruba ideas in English and capture the depth and the feeling that you want, So I think that's one of the reasons why we recognize him.
Okay, gentlemen, we are filling the gaps waiting for our guest to come, who has now showed up. He's one of the whole brigade who's having challenges with technology. Eventually, he's here with us. If those watching on YouTube may not see him, he's so black, and the environment is black, and he's wearing black. Everything is not dark there. You can quite easily call him Mr. Art and Culture or culture activist. He was for 10 years the arts and media editor of The Guardian up to 2003, and for another 10 years until 2013, he was the editor of the exquisite Guardian on Sunday, including the
Hmm.
Colorful Life magazine, and now the program chair or director of many of Nigeria's biggest arts properties globally, led by Committee for Relevant Arts, CORA, Culture Advocates Caucus, CAC, and CORA's Art and Cultural Foundation, Lagos and Arts Festival, Labav, Lagos Book and Arts Festival, Labav, and many more. Welcome, at last, Chairman Oladejo Anikulapo, having challenges with his network.
Um, I think he's having challenges
He's
with the
having
network.
challenges, yes.
Yeah, but I just like to say we remember
Okay.
Jaman as a senior colleague in the Guardian in those days. Man, he worked tirelessly. You know, at that time, there were attempts to, I don't know whether it was deliberate, but arts were struggling for expression a lot in the media, and the Guardian actually championed it. They had dedicated pages to the arts, and those
That's
pages
true.
were so well coordinated that students who were doing literary research in the universities actually looked forward to them, you know,
Hmm.
for reviews, to understand how to critique arts. And, you know, it became part of the libraries that people coordinated for arts and
Yeah,
expression. So
Very
it
true.
yeah.
German played a
German,
very powerful role in that respect. And I also
German has a
remember,
man.
yeah,
German
Cora,
has a man to thank for that. That's
yeah,
Benson Tomoloju.
yeah.
Ben T
Benty,
was a,
Benty.
was a great mentor of German, and people like us. He was like there's someone we look up to. It was a fantastic thing.
Mhm,
If I didn't have
mhm.
any money to buy anything, I would not buy food. I would buy Guardian. Then
Yes,
for many years, it was the
yeah.
Sunday edition that was the only publication, and that was the only paper I would
Mhm.
buy. My life was a working Guardian. I cried when I couldn't get in. It was this German that blocked my way. You know, I used, I used to accuse him of the one that blocked me before I got a note to Punch. It was Ben Tomology that gave me a note to see Demola Oshinubi at the Punch,
Oh,
and that started my
wow.
journey in the Punch.
Yeah.
Because all my life is the working Guardian. All I was before I even went to school, my grammar, my English grammar, you can't read it and not have headache. You got BP grammar.
Page, it still shows, you know. Sometimes I need to ask the Google. I need to check with the Google.
I tried so much to I try so much to, but you see, you could not be a devotee of Guardian, his literary pages, or an acolyte of Bentomology, and not, and those things don't will come naturally to you.
You know,
You will see peregrinations instead of moving forward. Moving around. You see circumlocution instead of going around. You can't help it. You just have to
uh,
please him.
and Page, that's the reason why most of you also speak a little bit out of the cuff, you know, like Tony
Yeah,
Akinsho, right? If Tony engages
yeah.
you, you are going to be asking him what exactly is he saying. He's making a lot of sense, but it's going
Okay.
to as if he's writing. As if he's
Okay, Mr.
writing.
T. Mr. T. German has joined us before the network catches up on him again. Good morning, German. Can you hear us? I can see his face.
Oh, yeah, he's
He's fine.
there.
Good morning, German. There are village people after him always.
Good morning.
No, no.
Okay.
Okay, we can hear him now.
Everywhere.
Good morning, German.
Only village people everywhere.
We have been praying for you that the village people will not succeed. We've been waiting for you for 15 minutes.
He said the people are everywhere.
Okay, let me just ask a question in case you hear, because I suspect that you could have a time lag between where we are and where you are. We would like to what's happening today about showing card 90. What are you people planning? By the way, he's stuck again. Let me fill the gap. By the way, in the past few years, I think the 5-7 years,
Mhm.
German has been working very closely with Professor Wole Soyinka. Maybe
Yeah.
we think it's like his Man Friday kind of. It's always
Mhm.
German never rests, and even Professor Wole Soyinka at 90 is also on the move. So Wahala Jam Palava. It's it's a fantastic marriage.
Combination.
German, oh, German, if you can hear us, oh my, it's gone off again.
We've
Well,
lost him.
we've lost him. I think we'll try next week to bring him in so he can give us a recap of what's happening today. I
Mhm.
know they're doing something at Freedom Park and a lot of stage plays, live shows, a lot of poem recitation. And it's glorious today. Today we can see Bosun even up till this moment. He's still hanging in with us. It's a privilege to see you to the very end. And And gentlemen, German will be told to come back next week. The village people have won this round. They will not make it next week. So, Bosun, please, I would like you to say your buys as we wrap up the show.
All right, it's been an interesting show, and I also join everyone to wish the literary icon a wonderful celebration. We pray that he's still very much with us for more celebrations. Have a wonderful week.
Okay,
Yeah.
Alex. Although
Yeah.
German is trying to come in, but it's not working. Um, so, will you like to say your bye? German, actually, we are saying bye bye as you are coming in.
Yeah. So, ladies and
Which is
gentlemen,
typical for a journalist. They are always late. Oh, we are always late. Always late to assignment. Okay, Alex, please.
yeah, we want to say thank you to all our listeners for staying with us. We wish Prof a happy birthday. That's Professor Wole Soyinka. And I hope what Edmond Naibe has said on there will put rest to the unnecessary debate about who is better, Wole Soyinka or Chinua Achebe. There really is no basis for that kind of debate. Thank you.
Thank you. I can see some notes sent to us via StreamYard. Ade Abdul Gafar Oyelegmi says, "Thank God the village people have grudgingly released Mr. German." No, they still survive. They still did it. We'll just pray that next week we'll be able to cancel them. And it says, too bad we can't enjoy Mr. German today. Yes, so too bad. Hopefully, we'll try again next week. And town people will be available. Mr. T, you're by.
Yeah, just as everybody else, wishing our own Nobel laureate Kongi WS happy birthday. Wow. Okay, Amariba. And I also want to say a very happy birthday to our friend Arugundade, Larry Arugundade. Larry, happy birthday to you. I'm sure we should be heading to our place now, by the way. To everybody, staying good. Remember, it takes one Saturday to make your day. So next Saturday, we'll make your day on Vintage Show. Bye now.
Thank you, Mr. T. Yeah, like we always say, be genuinely nice to people around you every day and do good as best as you can. Stay blessed. And happy anniversary to Kongi himself on this 90th anniversary. Hey, I'd like to be 90 also and more. Right?
Same
Mr. T,
here.
by night,
I
we'll be
pray.
able to work on it.
I pray.
We'll be able to work on it. Okay, guys, thank you so much. Have a blessed weekend. All you guys out
Bye.
there. Let's meet again next week and share brotherhood and hear more of what's going on around us. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Hi, my name is Bola Ajakai, and I invite you to read between the lines with me on this radio. On the show, we, that is you and I, as well as
Morning.
amazing co-hosts,
This thing does not still change. How now? If I'm playing my soundtrack, when I move to radio, it's supposed to cut it off.
No, I must stop it.
Where you don't so you don't play at the same time.
No, I need to stop.
I need to stop. Now I'm saying. So before Tima Shele, tí máa fẹ́ play music máa lè tẹ̀lé by the time to finish máa kàn move the music but ó máa play ó máa wà on. I have to go and stop here.
Stop the pellet here.
Nǹkan mò ń sọ nìyẹn but that's not what is happening before. Okay. That's the man play late. The man moves another one. I'll stop the other one.
Oh, okay, I'll just explain for me pay system here to crash.
Mo tẹ̀ tí wá get ilé kó tó crash. I'm still on. Bọ́lọ̀ ṣe ṣiṣẹ́ o. Mo yẹ sọ